Well, howdy, friends and floorheads. It's Tuesday night, and we have got four teenagers with way too many obligations, way too many issues. So we need our booking agents to get us straight. So, Derek, want to kick us off?
Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome everyone. Everybody's doing well tonight.
Hey.
Awesome. So real quick, we'll do a real quick kickoff of what happened last time. If anybody wants to volunteer, help, feel free. Otherwise, I'll blast through it. All right. So last time was the aftermath of the performance. The first scene that we kicked off into was the car ride to the diner. And I think Fabian wanted to get some things out in the open about things that were bothering him. And he ended up challenging Jake's loyalty, because Fabian was a little jealous that Jake is going to someone other than him for advice and band stuff, that person being Lizzie. Timothy kind of jumped on that bandwagon a little bit.
Pile on is the word you're looking for.
Piled on, yep. And
What teens do. Term.
And it made for a very awkward car ride. We decided to continue that into the actual diner scene, which also included at that point Christopher. Some of you guys tried to make some amends for piling on and try to help Jake see that you didn't mean for it to come off so personally, I guess. And then most of the band wanted to kind of take Christopher up on his offer to be more involved and help with PR and other things related to the band. He kind of challenged Timothy to think a little differently about Christopher and maybe give him a chance. And there was a change in there where Jake actually asked that as a question, like, so he could figure out what it would take. Then from there, we jumped to the next morning in Timothy's house, where he interacted with his father and wanted to kind of share the accomplishment of winning with his father and get some validation that way. So how would you say that went, Timothy?
Went awesome.
Promises were made.
Promises were made. Yes, I was willing to put my future path in school on the line to show how dedicated I was to the band and how important they were to me and how I felt that we meant something and that we were very good at what we did. So I basically told him if we did not see some kind of popularity and movement from professionals interested in us at our next live show, that I would willingly just go to military school instead of continuing to fight him on it.
Yeah. So you made some big promises, big claims. So we'll see how that goes.
So I recall he backed off a little bit on it because of that.
He did.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah, he kind of actually changed the terms a little bit. It wasn't so much of that. It was, if it went over well, you guys going to be there. It wasn't so much of we have to get a contract or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's an adult and he realizes that you're a kid and that
you're an idiot.
He's not going to hold you to this like brash, claim. He's going to be a little bit more realistic about what could be possible. So he's also got your mother in his ear trying to, convince him to let you be you and not try to make you be him. So right at the end of the episode, Something happened. You ended up taking an ego, the first ego of the game.
Oh, right. Yes. So because I was so brash about this and basically putting the entire band on the line, because if I get sent to military school, then I'm not going to easily be able to be in the band. That mechanically meant that I'm not actually as loyal to them as I could be. So I lose one of my loyalty dice, and I can no longer use that die, which is the best one that you can have in the performance. But in order to combat that, I also am a little more egotistical. So I took an ego, which means that during the next performance, I actually get to be able to use one additional die when I am performing the backup role. So a little bit of good and a little bit of bad.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see what the rest of my bandmates think of my bold move.
Yeah, I expect we'll hear about that in the next scene that includes other folks. So I know we also left off last week with or last time. I keep saying last week, but last time in our last episode, previously on, we had some ideas where some of the other folks had similar scenes that they wanted to have, kind of how their family takes the news. So I don't know if we're still thinking in that direction. Nothing's set in stone. So if you have other ideas that you want to explore, have at it. But we have 5 more scenes before the next BA scene, my scene. So let's see what you guys do with them. I'm excited.
Since I had the last one, I'm going to punt the football to you guys first and say,
yeah, it should be someone other than
you
Tim.
interested in?
You've heard enough from him for a while.
Yeah.
So for one of my scenes, I want to get everybody together because I need to talk to them about the persecution I'm suffering at the hands of the school. And suss that out with my parents. Seeing if depending what happens, maybe I can get them on my side.
Yeah, that's some interesting.
Did well.
I think I think that's totally a thing we can do. When were you thinking about trying to make that happen, like the next day or?
Yeah, the next day.
Okay, so
the weekend, right? Because I think my scene was Saturday morning.
Yeah. I mean, and again, we can skip days that don't matter, right? Like montage right through them, or just skip past them. Hey, look, it's Tuesday because that's the next day that matters. Just like a TV show. So in the meantime, I don't know if we wanted to do a similar scene with Jake or Lizzie. Similarly timed. We can always do a little bit of a flashback if we want. But what do you guys want to do?
Fabian, if you're up for it, I'd like to knock on your front door.
Sure.
On a Sunday morning.
Okay.
So yeah, I knock on the door. I'm not sure whether your parents are going to answer or you are.
They would probably answer.
What's your last name, Fabian?
Thomas.
So, Mr. Thomas.
No, I take that back. Maddox. I'm sorry, Maddox.
Maddox.
Maddox. Yeah.
Maddox. Mr. Maddox. Hi. I'm Jake. I'm one of Fabian's friends. I guess you can tell because I'm holding it that I play bass in the band, and just wanted to know if Fabian's home.
Yes, he is. Why don't you come on in? Jake, you said?
Jake, yes, sir.
All right.
It's super respectful.
He leads you into the living room. What are your parents like, Fabian?
Typical middle class. Mom's, stay at home. My dad, he believes, to solve a problem, work harder, work more. He's a workaholic. But they're good parents. They provide.
Okay. Yeah, so he ushers you into the living room and has you have a seat, and he hollers to towards Fabian's room, and he says, "So, tell me about this band, Jake."
Oh, yeah. First off, your son is such a good drummer. Like he is just the center of this band, and he just does such a great job. He's kind of a leader. And he's pretty awesome. But yeah, we're having fun. There's 4 of us, and we just I don't know, did your son tell you that we won the right to be able to play at the big celebration?
Would you have, Fabian?
No, I was going to talk to him today about it. I was just trying to suss out my plan and how to approach it.
Enter Jake.
No, that particular piece of information hasn't come up yet.
He's probably just trying to be super modest, sir. I'm telling you, he does a great job.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that he does well at that. Do you have any classes with him?
No, sir. No. Sometimes we hang out after school in a classroom, but we don't have technically classes together.
Gotcha. How are your grades?
They're good.
Yeah?
They're good. Yeah. I'm not doing well in shop. I guess I'm not real good, like handy with stuff, and I use too much glue. But no, my math is good, and I don't know. I'm really hoping, that be able to go to a good school and do all kinds of stuff. But no, my grades are good. I don't know, maybe not as good as Fabian's though.
I hope. I hope it's just a misunderstanding, but we may have a different definition of good grades then. So Fabian, you can show up whenever you want.
Yeah, at that statement, I'm walking in.
It says, I mean, we're glad to hear that this band thing is fun and that it's something he's good at, and we definitely want to support that, as you know, right, Fabian?
I just kind of look at Jake like, thanks.
But what we don't want is for it to be something that is in the way of Fabian getting into the best school that he can get into and doing as well on his grades as we know that he can.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you and Mom about. Like, I'm gonna do as best as I can, and you can't force me, no matter what you do, even if you grounded me or whatever. I'm at the point to where you guys instilled your values, and it's for me to use them or not, which I will. They're good values, and of course I want to do as best as I can. But with that, I want to do things that I'm good at, and as you can see, we won against people that have been playing much longer and that are older than us, and we really, it wasn't a contest, to be honest. And the problem is the town event is next weekend, but I got this stupid detention really for nothing. But I wanted to see if you could help me out with that, because we have to practice. Because if I'm not there to practice, then we're not going to win, and that can turn into something. I could get a scholarship off of this. Go to a good school, and you don't have to pay for it, or contribute a small part to it.
So it's interesting that you mentioned detention, because we did get a phone call Friday afternoon that you skipped out on detention. Maybe told the vice principal off.
Well, there was a fire alarm. Well, you tell me, Dad, if a fire alarm's pulled and there's a rule that you're supposed to go out without running and meet in a certain spot so you don't get burnt like a crispy critter, and the teacher tells you to stay in the room and don't move, wouldn't you want me to defy that and go out anyway and not rely on him? There may or may not be a fire. I was actually following the overall rule of the school when there's a fire.
But then when the fire alarm stopped and everyone else went back to detention, I'm told that you didn't join the rest of your...
Well, at that point I had to make a decision, and I needed to get to the group to perform.
Yeah.
And sir,
And,
technically, sir, not that this is my business or anything, but technically detention was over by then. So like, it was kind of my idea. Like I just said, hey, like, I guess we're done. And I didn't realize that Fabian was going to get in trouble. So it's kind of my fault.
I appreciate that, Jake. I appreciate that, Jake, but it's my decision. And again, I was looking at the big picture. I knew we were going to do well, and if we do well, that could open up, opportunities. You're telling me no time in your life, Dad, that you did something that was counter to what you were told because you knew you needed to do it to make the bigger picture happen?
So I think, oddly enough, I think Jake is triggering a change. He's triggering coerce or deceive. The only thing that I want to know is, it sounds like the leverage here is that you are trying to claim that detention was over. You were at fault for any fault that did exist. You were at fault, and that you should take the blame.
Yep. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. So let's see it. Let's see the roll.
All right, 2d6, and I'm gonna, and that change is done with what?
Just 1 second. That is smooth.
Oh, it doesn't say.
Also, we need. So what you want him to do is to lay off of.
Yeah, if I succeed, I'm hoping to take some of the heat off of Fabian.
Can I collaborate?
I was going to ask that if you want to collaborate or interfere. Under either.
And it sounds like you kind of were. You're also chiming in, so you fixed yourself to do so.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I guess it would kind of be undermined because I don't want him to take the blame, because I'm trying to show that I'm taking responsibility for my own actions. So I think that's going to be an undermine.
I don't disagree with that.
All right.
All right. So does Fabian roll first?
He gives you a die of his loyalty die type that you add to,
which is a 6.
Okay, so you're going to roll 3d6 and take the highest 2.
Got it.
And just pick which one you want to be yours, so we know whether it helps or doesn't.
Oh, well, whatever the last one was will be his.
Cool.
So I got a 9, and I did use your 5.
Was a 5. It was yep. All right. So
a 9 is way too high.
That's a fail. He is not going along with it. And then we'll do the results of the undermine. Yeah, so he's like, I know how, I think that's great. I think it's great that you want to try to cover for your friends. But, in this case, Jake, I'm going to chalk it up to you trying to be a good friend. But I'm not buying what you're selling. So you undermined, and your die is used in the summation, Fabian. So your loyal is going to shift left. And you're going to choose another stat to shift right.
Okay, and then
And so, and for those watching, left means it's going to get worse, and then right is going to be an improve.
Yep, exactly.
Let's shift. I think appropriate is going to be smooth. I'm going to shift smooth to the right.
So smooth is getting better. So what's up with your smooth at now?
0.
All right, and your loyal is now
-2.
Oh, you were at -3?
Yes.
Oh, so that should have been a D4, not a D6.
Oh,
great!
great!
I did not know that. I'm sorry. You know.
Don't worry about it. All right. So what happens to me, BA?
So we're gonna keep your 4 and 3. Just roll a D4 and let's see if it helps.
Yeah. There you go. That makes
The
sense.
4 and 3 were your dice. We'll just reroll his die.
All right. So that would have been a 3 instead of a 5. So I would have gotten a 7.
It's a
And
7. So
without
now it's
using
a
my
partial
dice.
success.
Okay, cool. And I would have used his die.
You would have? Why?
I would have. Yep.
Okay.
I would have used your D3 with my D4. Or my
But
3.
you had a 4.
No, because we're looking
roll.
for the highest 2.
Oh,
Right. So the
Right.
highest. Oh, hold on a second then. All right.
So
I
you
would
rolled
have
4, 3. So you would have kept your 3.
Oh, I would have kept my 3. I didn't use you at all.
Right.
You're right. Yep. 7 without you.
Right.
So do your
Okay.
you
And
go
then I'll
shifty
just
shifty
go
back.
Yep.
So I got a partial success.
Yeah, so in that case, he's going to go along with you, but there's going to be a little bit of a cost that goes with that. And he's going to say, all right, well, then I hope we can count on you being there when we meet with the vice principal so you can explain your role.
Yeah, sure. Definitely can do that. I can also I took advanced algebra last year. Because I'm a year ahead. And I'm happy to also I can tutor Fabian. And maybe instead of being at the principal's office, maybe I can get ready to tutor him, maybe. Because I'll be honest with you, sir. He's not a big fan of me either because of the whole thing, and I kind of have to go to band practice too. And what do you think about that? Maybe if I promise, if I got one for you, sir. Fabian's going to get a B+ in advanced algebra this year, and I'll make sure that happens.
Well, I can make sure that happens by making sure he doesn't keep doing this band thing. Fabian's more than capable of getting A's in his classes.
Jake realizes that he needs to put the shovel down, so he does.
Yeah, I just sit back and I'm just watching like a tennis game here.
It's like,
That's a real good point, sir. And I'm going to kind of fade into the couch if I could.
what was the last name, Jake?
I think it.
No, this is him asking you.
Johansson, sir.
Johansson. Okay. Thank you. I'll leave you too. And he goes, or maybe you guys go into Fabian's room or something.
Actually, I'd like to go wherever. Where's the drum set, Fabian?
In my room.
Okay.
But before we move on, I do have a question. So, since my die wasn't used, I'm supposed to shift my loyalty.
Yep, you're right. We didn't finish that. So back to collaborator undermine. Since your die wasn't used, you are going to shift loyal to the right.
And if I can't,
if you can't, then you immediately mark an obligation.
and so since I put a third one in that box, that gives me the 5th one
Oh,
up top.
So you took an ego. So go ahead and mark an ego on your sheet. It's in the.
Do I mark the first one or
the first one? They
mark the
fill in
first
from
one?
top to bottom.
Yeah.
And they are additive. You get everything. Like once you mark the second one, you get the benefits of both. You can cross out the D4 on the loyalty die track on the right hand side. So you don't have access to a D4 anymore. The highest you'll get to is D6.
Okay.
And you can clear all your obligations.
Every obligation?
Everything is cleared.
Okay.
You egotistical bastard.
Put yourself before the band.
Yeah. Timothy knows a little bit about that. All right.
So when we get to your room, Fabian, I'll be like, dude, I'm so sorry. I thought I was helping.
You should be.
Yeah. So I didn't come over to get you in more trouble. I was coming over because I need some help.
All right. What?
I think you and Timothy were right that I think too much about everything except what's happening. And I think it's affecting my ability to support you from a rhythm perspective. I was kind of hoping we could do is maybe practice and maybe you could do some time changes and if I can just focus on right now, I can keep up with them. And I don't know, dude, maybe like an hour or something.
Yeah. And, even though you screwed the pooch, out there, you were in the moment.
Huh.
If you
kind of
think
was,
about
wasn't
it,
I?
You weren't sitting there. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, we can do stuff. We can do time changes if you want.
But see, so here's the thing, Fabian, but like, you're right. Now that I think about it, I kind of was in the moment, but it didn't go well when I did that. Cause I didn't plan. Like if I had planned like how I was going to talk to your dad, it may have gone better.
But you wouldn't have known how the conversation would have came up or went. So that's time wasted. You're going to sit there and think about 500 different scenarios or how something's going to come. And A, it may not happen, or B, you still fail. The thing is, at least you were there, you were present, and you were trying. And that's what it's about. With the rhythm can change in a heartbeat. And if you're not there focusing on it, you're going to miss it. Doesn't matter how much you plan. It's music and rhythm is about response. It's emotion, not logic.
I was going to say, I understand that, but I'm going to tell you, I can feel that.
Okay.
At this point, Jake, you get a text message from me.
Ding. Oh, sorry. No. Give me 1 second. And I look at my phone.
It says, shit just got real. Got to practice really fucking soon.
Oh, Timothy effed up.
So
I don't know why or what happened, but when's the last time Timothy asked to practice?
Never.
I text you back at church. I'll text you as soon as it's over.
Learning a lot about Jake today. All right, I think I'd like to cut this scene more or less here, and then we can go on to whatever the next one is. I do think that you did trigger, if you want to do this, I think you probably did trigger the change, acquire flare.
Ooh,
Jake.
Okay.
And then that can kind of happen after the scene. If you're actually going to practice with Fabian,
Yes.
that is.
Does this do anything with my challenged too much in my own head? Feel the moment. I've got 2 obligation and it was challenged.
Oh, you were trying to clear an obligation.
I was.
Yeah. So you can do that instead. Absolutely.
All right, cool.
So,
and does
I
it
forgot that you
clear?
had that challenged, or I probably would have keyed into that sooner.
That's all right. Does it clear one or both of my obligations?
It's one per scene. So you
got
can
it.
clear, it's called Take Care of Business is the name of the change.
Yep.
And you are fictionally positioned to clear an obligation, and so you can absolutely do that.
Beautiful. So I'm down to just one obligation. And I see Amy needed to restart. So we,
I'm not sure what you saw there, but there
Oh.
was a.
She's
all
back.
right. Let me bring you back in, Amy. I just heard you. All right. There she is. Nobody can see you yet. Give me 1 second. I mean, I can see you, but that doesn't help anybody. That's right. There, everybody on the stream knows only hearing one side of this conversation.
Sorry.
There we go. She's back.
We want
I'm
everybody to be able to see you.
sorry.
PCs, they need rebooted sometimes.
My computer just went. Bleh.
Computers. Who needs them?
So you missed it, Lizzie. Fabian and I are getting married.
I'll kill him.
No, I got cleared an obligation because Fabian
Huzzah.
showed me the power of thinking in the moment, and
Power of friendship.
And because of Jake, my good friend, now I got to clear all of my obligations.
Yeah, he took an ego.
Hooray.
Well, I think we tried to undermine him and didn't succeed at that.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Well, I'm happy with it.
So we have a couple of slightly egotistical band members now.
Half.
better known as a band.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We
So
all
if I
know the
remember-
best bands have, a lot of drama in their ranks. So this is a great start.
Very true. So I think we definitely need a Lizzie scene if Lizzie's up for it. And I know, Lizzie, you were thinking about a family scene, if I remember correctly from last.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna also do Sunday morning. I snuck in, managed to sneak past everybody without waking anybody up and get settled in my room. Saturday it's my rehearsal day. I have to spend hours in my piano classes and rehearsing with other people and with teachers. So I'm always tied up on Saturdays most of the time. So it's Sunday morning, I imagine, and I'm just being forced into our normal Sunday morning family breakfast, sitting kind of sullenly at the table while
Yeah.
everybody else is being family and raucous
Okay.
around me.
I guess, what are you hoping to get at? Like, where are we aiming this scene? Are we looking at?
I'm really just gonna talk to him about the band and how I have to take a Saturday off because we have this thing coming up.
So you got a request. Okay. I think that's good. And tell me about what Sunday mornings typically look like.
Well, my brothers are, acting a fool. Probably running around and throwing things at each other. And mom's trying to get them to calm down and sit down while she's pouring orange juice. Dad has just sat at the table with a newspaper, kind of blindly oblivious to everything that's going on around him. But during all of the chaos, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna talk to him while nobody else is paying attention, while they're all involved in their Sunday morning preparations.
I remember most of your family are kind of they're athletic and
Yeah,
into sports.
very athletic, very outgoing.
We're getting ready for
My
Sunday
brothers
football.
are very much in with the popular group, and I'm not. Mom is really, this band thing is ridiculous. What are you doing with yourself? You have so much more talent than this, and it needs to
supports
be
your music.
directed. Yes, very much classical. She wants me to follow that classical orchestral type of route, whereas Dad is secretly yes, because he wanted to be a rocker back in the day.
Yeah, so I totally see them as they're getting their horseplay in. They're probably excited about whatever the big NFL game is on Sunday.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
in their athletic mode and doing whatever they do. So yeah, you have the time and space to kind of have this conversation. How do you start that?
Sure. I'm just gonna be
There we
kind
go.
of pushing my food around and hey, Dad. So I need to take next Saturday off from classes. I've got something I have to do.
Oh, that's That's a little vague. Can you share?
Well, I'm gonna kind of look around and make sure nobody's really paying attention. I'm gonna drop my voice and I'm like, so we won the contest and we're gonna be playing the festival this weekend. Then I'm gonna and then like settle back down because I've really just like exposed how excited I am about it.
Okay. He gets excited for you, I think, because he's on your side.
Nope.
He's like, oh, that's great. Well, of course we'll have to tell your mother, and we'll have to reschedule classes.
Can you talk to Mom about it?
I can talk to her with you.
Or just you, maybe?
You're the youngest?
Yes. Yeah, youngest. My older brother is off to college now, where he's playing football.
Oh, he's actually okay.
Yes.
Your oldest brother, because you have a high school aged.
Yeah, Robert is he's in high school with us. This is
And he also plays football.
Yes. His name is Turner.
Turner. Cool.
He's off to college.
Okay. And then, so is it just the three of you then?
Yeah, the three of us siblings, then Mom and Dad.
Okay. Yeah.
Mom stays at home.
The children. You don't have other brothers or sisters.
Yeah, no, just the three of us. Just the three of us.
So this is all completely off topic, but it kind of fills in some of the picture for me, one way or the other. Was this the situation where, like, when you were little, because your brothers are a little bit older than you, and then your older brother's older than that, and they were in probably pee-wee football and baseball
their
and
whole lives.
whatever,
They've played all the
Did they
sports.
like try to enroll you in like youth cheerleading and try to like push you in the or girls sports or something, soccer and
I don't think so.
I
don't think so. I think that I showed musical talent at a fairly young age.
Okay.
And so they kind of steered in that direction, especially my dad, because he loves the music and he's very excited to have a different sort of outlet.
Did we say that he was involved in music when he
plays the guitar? I mean, he's not awesome, but he can strum along, and he enjoys it. I think that's where I got my love and appreciation of especially like older music was from him. Like us jamming together. When
he was the guy that showed up at college parties with an acoustic guitar and knew.
Yeah. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Yeah.
Okay.
I love how Wonderwall's become the new Stairway to Heaven for guitar players.
A shockingly hard song to play.
Yeah, so I do think there's a part of him that wants you to take a little bit of this initiative and a little bit of your ownership, but he does understand that, like, he knows where you're coming from.
You know how she reacted last time when I tried to take a day off.
So I think you can tell he's waffling on this, and he's a little bit uncomfortable about it because they've clearly, well, you don't know why specifically, but you can find out. There is a change for that if you'd like to make it. But he's a little uncomfortable with just doing it for you for some reason. There's some subtext there that you're starting to see a little bit. Can't quite put it together yet. But if you'd like to ascertain his disposition, you might be able to learn something more specific. You're muted.
Sorry, I was.
No worries.
Household stuff.
Oh.
I live in a very small space. I'm sorry.
No, I just didn't know if you knew you were muted.
There's a change that I can do.
Ascertain their disposition. You can find out what's going on with him in this moment.
Okay. I would like to do that.
Absolutely. So it's uncomfortable. He's uncomfortable, and the interaction has become more uncomfortable than you would expect, because there's this thing that you haven't quite sussed out. So so you can roll Keen and ask him some questions, or ask me some questions as his player, to tell you what's really happening, what's really thinking,
All right.
feeling, those kinds of things.
So that's 2d6.
2d6 plus Keen, whatever your Keen is.
Which is nothing.
Okay, so just a flat 2d6 roll. Looking for low numbers.
Oh yeah, baby.
Excellent. So that is a full success.
Woo.
So again, this is the one that has some questions that you can choose off the list during the interaction, and you spend your hold one at a time to ask a particular question of me, the player of this character. Do you have the list in front of you?
I don't. My computer crashed. I lost it.
Oh, okay. So the list,
all my
it's
tabs.
5 questions. Is your character telling the truth? What's your character really feeling? What does your character intend to do? What does your character wish I'd do? And how could I get your character to blank?
I also put them in the chat on the Twitch too, if you can see that.
Awesome.
You
Thank
are
you.
wonderful. I'm gonna go with what is he really feeling?
He's obviously feeling conflicted, and what you're starting to piece together is that this isn't exactly the first conversation between him and your mother about how this should be handled and how hard you should be pushed in one way or the other about music. So he's probably, more than you know, has kind of gone to bat for you in this other respect, but knows that like your mother's going to respect it more if you kind of own up. So not that he doesn't want to do it for you, but that he knows that it's not going to be as effective for you in the long run, or even in the short run, to get that, like he knows you're kind of at this spot, and I think he's conflicted because he doesn't know how to like tell you that without it coming off sounding, any kind of way. So
okay.
So he's kind of hemming and hawing. He's like, I really think, obviously, it's not a huge ask. But I think it would mean more coming from you than, so
all right.
start to bite your head
I'm
off.
gonna look at him like all like wide-eyed, like, come on, and then I'm gonna have that realization that he's already doing this, and I'm just gonna drop it, and my shoulders are gonna fall. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll go with you. We can have the conversation together.
Okay, well, no time like the present, right? Mom, hey,
what's up?
I can we reschedule my classes for next week?
Like Saturday? This coming Saturday?
Yeah, next Saturday, this coming up Saturday. We so Jake, you like Jake. Jake's great, and him and I were playing together, and we happened to kind of win this little contest that we entered, and now we're going to be playing at the show on Saturday, and I'd really like to go, and can we please reschedule my classes? I'm going to elbow my dad too.
So, real quick, so does she not know that you're in this band?
I mean, she does, but I don't think she realizes. Yeah, I mean, we usually have it in my garage, but Jake's always been around.
Okay, just checking.
So if I lean into that kind of Jake's my best friend and you know Jake and you love Jake, he's around all the time and I'm doing something with Jake. Don't worry about these other two. It's me and Jake are doing a thing. So if I lean into that, because she likes Jake.
Okay, just I want to set a few other things real quick in the narrative. So
Sure.
you made it seem like your dad kind of knew about this ahead of time when you told him that you won. So he knew what the stakes were. He knew what you were playing for.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm a bit more upfront with him than I am with the rest of the family.
So he says, so when you nudge him, he says, yeah, so this means that you get to play in the big town concert, right? That'd be good.
Yeah.
Good exposure, right? Even.
Yeah. It's such a great thing for the town. They're having fundraisers and there's like Girl Scouts. I don't know. It'd be great for the town. It's really good for our community, Mom. Really great.
Your mom's like, well, I think you're right. That does sound great. I wish you had said something sooner. We should have told the music teacher yesterday if we were going to cancel next week. But I'm sure it can work out.
Really?
Well,
You gotta roll threes more often.
what's that?
I said you gotta roll threes more often.
Yeah, don't forget, Amy, that you have 2 more questions that you can ask of your father during, because you're still conversing.
Yeah, it's still part of the same conversation.
So take a look.
Okay,
Definitely take a look at that list and see what of those might really work to your advantage right now.
Okay.
She says, yeah, no, I mean, you make a good case. It's a big deal. Now, honey, are you sure that this is something you're ready for? I know that sometimes you still have some issues with stage fright.
Yeah, but usually it's just me on a really big stage and this isn't. I have friends up there with me.
Does she know what kind of music you play?
Probably. Yeah, we usually rehearse in my garage, so I imagine she has some sort of vague sense of she might not get it. But she's probably heard it a few times.
Okay.
She also is probably aware that I don't play piano with this.
Right, that you play guitar.
Guitar,
Or
yeah.
mostly, right?
Most of the time, yes.
She says, what's the name of your band?
Oh, it's called First Things First.
That's nice.
Like you always say.
Okay. I think she's pretty close to agreeing to this.
I'll do extra rehearsal this week to make up for it.
Extra practice, you mean?
Yes, extra practice. Yeah.
Okay.
So quick question mechanically, and I apologize if I'm interrupting. Is like, would this be a coerce? Would that fall under this move, or
it could be? It could be.
Yeah.
And I'm actually wondering if I was maybe a little too nice with the mom to go like maybe it does require a little bit of coercion.
Can negotiate.
Yeah, and you can ascertain her in order to be able to see what it might take in order for you to be able to coerce her. So you can figure out what that leverage is.
Okay. I
think you did hit on something though already, like the extra practice, putting in the work. That's something that would clearly buy her off a little bit. So now keep in mind though that could get in the way of band practice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can make the roll for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
With what am I rolling with this with?
Choruses with smooth.
Smooth. Okay. Oh, don't suck.
You used up
Failing
your
is
3
good.
already.
And then I have a -2 on that. So
Nice.
5.
So that's good.
All right, so it's
Wait, no, smooth. -1. I'm sorry.
it's all the same. 5 through 7's all the same. So as long as it wasn't plus, you're good.
No, it's not plus. Whew.
Okay. So you do need to mark an obligation
Okay.
related to that NPC, and I actually forgot to have Jake do that in the last scene. That's part of the owing that one. You have an obligation to Fabian's father somehow.
Got it.
We can talk about an issue, or maybe if it's in an issue, but
I could put
think
it in
about
my issue. Family wants
Yes.
wants me to focus on real music.
100%. That's absolutely. I think you'd have to sell me on putting it anywhere else. If it's so well. So how many obligations is that now
2.
on that issue, or 2 different?
No,
issues?
just 1 on that issue.
Okay. Oh right, I see the other one's on the Jake issue.
Yes,
Cool.
the other one's on the Jake. Yeah.
So she goes along with it. She says, "Okay, that's fine as long as you put in the
Really?
work."
I'm actually gonna run up and like give her a hug, which is like the
Aw.
first time in probably months.
Because you're the typical teenager. Is she not touchy feely? Is she not a hugger, or are you?
No,
is it-
she's definitely touchy feely, but
Okay.
I am not.
Gotcha. So yeah, she definitely appreciates that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it will be good exposure for you, and it'll give you more opportunity to be in front of large crowds. Which
Oh, oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Oh my God. Do we have anything planned today? Can I go?
I don't have anything planned for you, so sure. Of
Okay,
course.
I'm just gonna go to Jake's. I'll be back in a few hours.
Check in if you're going to be longer.
All right. Thanks, Mom.
No problem.
And then I'm gonna give my dad a shoulder punch as I walk past him, and a smile, and a smile.
He gives you a nice a smile, and he's proud of you for taking some ownership.
And I'm actually gonna slightly grin at my brothers as well too, just a little.
I think
then
you're
I'm
right.
gonna grab my
They were not paying attention at all.
Of course not.
So
Little shits.
I think one of them throws a beanbag at you from when they were playing cornhole or whatever.
Stop it, Robert.
Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna
gonna grab my keys.
Yeah, well, let's take care of that over a break if we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a couple of really good scenes. Lots of stuff moving. All right. So we are about an hour in. Do we want to do one more scene, or?
Let's take a quick 10-minute break. I'm going to fix the mic issue, and then we can jump into another scene. Does that sound good?
Sounds awesome to me.
All right, we'll be back in 10. All right, we are back. We've got Mike fixed. I'm going to bring Fabian back in. Give me just 1 second.
We lose Fabian.
All right.
Give us
Everybody's pretty
Fabian.
faces on the screen. We got a great scene where we got to see Lizzie get what you wanted. What's up next, Derek?
You guys tell me. We have some narrative hooks set already with Jake owes Fabian's dad now.
Yeah, so I marked that just real quick. I put on there Fabian needs a B+. And then I marked the obligation. Does that sound reasonable?
I think he expected something more like collaborate, like to corroborate the story that
Okay.
he didn't give out no detention, but
no, I'm good with that. So I need to back up the story.
Yeah.
Principle, right?
And I think as I indicated in the last episode, one of the blasts of noise that I hit you guys with was that the vice principal is already putting a lot of these pieces together. So your participation in that parent principal conference may not be voluntary anyway. So we'll see.
He needs to die.
Wow.
I got a new scene.
Time to burn the school down.
If it's okay, and I don't know if this will affect scenes or not, but I would have, after like maybe Fabian and I took a break as we were practicing, I probably would have texted Lizzie and say, hey, like something's up with Timothy. And then I would have like shot the message to her.
Yeah. So that's all well and good. So I don't know if we want to bring that in and have another bigger scene or another two-way scene or whatever we want to do. Where you guys want to go next? Timothy has reached out. Did you reach out only to Jake? Was that a group message to everyone?
No,
just to Jake. Okay.
What text?
Well, I sent you the screenshot. Like I sent you the screenshot of the text. Like,
what did the text say?
It said, like we need to practice. Like stuff's going down. We need to practice like now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of that push going. We got, whatever directions everybody else wants to go in. So the world is your oyster. Where do you want to go next?
Yeah. Do we want to practice at my house?
I want to set a scene with just Jake alone.
You want me to?
Is that cool?
You want me to call you?
Where would you like to meet? I would go to your turf, wherever that is. So where's a favorite place of yours?
I think we're going to go to credits. You're scaring me.
Fish camp.
Yeah, it was great seeing everybody. Thanks so much. No, I'm thinking, I wrap up with Fabian. Maybe, got a hint from Lizzie that she wants to come over and hang out. So
I would say that would all sort of happen off screen.
Yeah, that's
we
off
would have
screen.
this conversation. So it's really in that, I would ask if we could meet and basically like, where do you want to meet?
I'm driving the family hoopty. I'm like, if you want, dude, I can swing by on my way home.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do.
Yep. So I'll swing by your place, and we've seen this work real well last time. So I knock on your front door.
Yeah. Or do you want to have the discussion in the car? I think that would be kind of cool for as your TV, movie thing, is that we're having this discussion with your driving.
Love it. Let's do it. So I'm gonna scoop you up.
Yeah, cool. So let's do that. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, dude, kind of freaking me out with that text, man.
No, don't be too freaked out. So I spoke to my dad next morning.
Why would you do that?
Well, I was actually had a lot of adrenaline after our little discussion that other night, and it just got me so motivated that felt he would understand where the hell we're coming from. So I basically told him what happened, and he got under my skin a little bit. So I basically said that if we don't get some kind of deal with either a record promotion or something like that, that I would
Record
acquiesce and go to,
promotion?
something like that, something big, basically. I want him to understand, like we talked about, how important this band is. And it was just, I was starting to think that maybe you're right, and that I'm really, I'm sort of minimizing what it is that we do. And I wanted him to know how fucking important it was to me. So I basically told him that, yeah, we were going to basically see huge success after our performance for the town. And if we don't, that he can just ship me off to military school.
All right, so you're really messing with me, dude. Because I just got done like spending time with Fabian, learning to be in the moment, like he told me to, and now you're like piling all this other stuff on me, telling me like I got a plan so that we can get a record deal by like before you go to military school. Like, not cool, man. But funny story. Turns out I'm really good talking to parents. I figured that out over at Fabian's. So if you want, I can go to your dad and explain to him the same way I explained to Fabian's dad, like how important this band is. Like, Fabian's dad, dude, is all in.
I think he definitely gets it.
What
It just
hey,
should
dude,
give us
let's
the
go back to your
motivation
house.
to actually do this shit.
Yeah,
I
let's go
wanted
back
you
to your
know.
house.
What's that?
I'll go talk to your dad. I'll straighten his ass out.
Oh, that's gonna be, I don't know. He's a tough guy. He's really tough. I think
So-
in order for him to convince me, he'd have to
Oh,
Yeah.
I
You'd
don't
have to-
want you
you'd
to
have to-
agree to this. I am puffing up here, trying to impress you, Timothy. If you were to say, "Yeah, let's go back to Dad's," I would poop my pants. So I'm not trying to
no,
convince
so
you.
he
of this.
definitely, especially because he's trying to basically convince you that we just have to practice. It's like you've been basically saying, hey, this band is good, and I'm minimizing it, but I'm saying this is our opportunity now. Let's knock this shit out of the park. And I want to practice and do really well and show my dad what's up. So if you want to convince me that the thing to do, though, is to talk to my dad, you probably have to coerce me on that. I'm definitely not going to just go do it.
No, you're playing into one of my issues, which Tim cares the least about the band, and that's not good. That's one of my issues. So just the opposite. I'm like, how about this? We're going to Lizzie's. You text Fabian, tell him to be at Lizzie's in 30 minutes, and we're gonna practice hard today. And we're gonna make sure that you don't go to military school, and Lizzie gets to write the kind of music she wants to write, and Fabian gets a B+ in advanced algebra, and I'm not going to plan anything, and we're going to be in the moment, and it's going to be, you know what it's going to be, dude? First things first.
So I think one of us is, at least, if not both of us, are trying to build loyalty.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I'm definitely trying to be the heart. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think, Derek?
I think you probably came in first.
Gotcha.
So I think it's you. Now,
Cool.
Jake is probably collaborating.
Yeah, it sounds like that we're basically on the same page. So yeah, if you want to collaborate on that, that's cool.
Definitely. And then I give you my loyalty die. Is that how that works?
Mhm.
That is
Yep.
how it works. So
Sir, I give you a D4.
That's right. And this is a flat roll, right?
It is a flat roll.
I co-wrote this game. You'd think I should know these things.
Oh, I've learned firsthand the worst people to ask about rules in the current version of the game is the people that made the game.
Yeah, there are things that I'll say and I'll be like, wait, no, that was like 5 versions ago.
Literally like
Who changed
17 of the last versions in your head.
Will this thing work if I say roll 2d6 plus 1d4?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. That's right, Derek?
2d6, 1d4. Keep
Cool.
close.
All righty.
And the 4 helped.
What did we get there?
No, the 4 was
no.
high.
No, I didn't. I thought it was the highest thing. I think that
It
it
was
did
four,
not
yeah,
help.
I guess I misread the.
Yep. So
did not
1 and a
help.
2 on the D6s,
That's
and then
okay.
I rolled a D4 on them.
Cool. So yeah. So that's a
Okay, so
success.
let's deal with the first change, the build loyalty change first.
Right.
So it's a full success. So Timothy, you get to shift your loyal to the right, and another stat to your left.
I choose the stat to choose
Of your
for
choice,
left,
yep.
right? Let's see. I'm willing to take suggestions about what you think that this should be.
I think it affects your edge.
Yeah, I think you're
Cool.
laying off the edge a little. And
Yeah.
Whoa.
Man, I don't want to necessarily lean off my edge. Well, this would be a good way for me to be able to mark an obligation and get some of those back up so I can work towards improving my character, since they all got cleared at the end of the last session. So let's do that. I would like to mark an obligation so that
and you're doing that instead of moving edge,
yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's undoing the shift with
right.
devotion.
Got it.
And marking obligation to do that.
Yeah. Should we create a new issue for this?
Don't you have an issue that focuses around Jake?
I do, actually, as well. That was one of the last issues that I did. So that is probably a good place to mark that obligation. So I'm going to do that. Cool. And now we have to deal with Jake's not successful collaboration.
Yeah. So always on a collaboration, something's going to happen. It just depends on whether it was successful or not, what happens. So when you try to collaborate and your die isn't used, you are going to shift your loyal to the right to show that you're going to increase your commitment to the group because you weren't helpful in this case. And I choose a stat to shift to the left.
So my loyalty is already at -3, right?
You cannot shift.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to mark an obligation.
I think it's going to be on Tim cares the least about the band. That makes sense to me.
Okay. Because, not to play your character for you or get in your head or anything, but I think there's a really good and easy way to kind of justify that, in that he still seems to be treating it a little like a tool. Like there's a utility for it to him, which isn't the same as caring about the band in and of itself. He cares about what the band can do for him.
No, I agree.
Which is better than not caring about the band for any reason, but it's not the kind of.
But at least I reached out to Jake.
Yeah, no, I mean like I feel like we're not getting closer to my goal, which is him like focusing on just the band and like it mattering to him more. We've moved sideways. We're not going backwards.
We're causing shit to go down. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I marked an additional obligation on the. I need Tim to care about the band more.
All right, so that's your second obligation there.
That is going to be my third now.
Third, and your third overall.
I've got 1 on back up the story with the principal, 1,
right.
And I'm too much in my own head, and now 1 on Tim cares. Not enough.
Why did I have you down for having? Never mind. That wasn't your character that I was looking at. Never mind. So you have 3 obligations, all on separate issues.
Correct. 1 on each issue. Yep.
Gotta crank you up on one of them.
All right. So we can wrap this. So how does this scene wrap up? Like, you guys are in the car. Where do you go at the end?
I think if everybody's okay with it, we roll into practice in the garage, in Lizzie's garage.
Yeah, we can do it. Start a new scene there.
Start a new scene there. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, I imagined that I had gone to Jake's house, because he doesn't live too far away, and discovered that he wasn't there, and then just come back home.
Yeah, and I'm like texting you, like totally going to practice an hour earlier than we thought. I've got Timothy and Fabian's on the way, and
shit. Okay.
Cool.
I'll just put K.
Awesome. Great scene. So here we are. It's still Sunday, a little bit later in the day. Lizzie's garage.
Actually, can I sneak a scene in? Would you guys mind if I snuck a scene in
You should
with Robert?
absolutely, if you want something to do. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, please.
Go for it.
So I'm thinking maybe everybody's there and messing with their instruments and stuff like that. And I'm gonna sneak out and like try to find Robert in the house. So where do we
My
think
brother
I would
Robert.
find him?
Yeah.
Where would I find him, Derek?
I think they're probably in like the it's probably like a TV room den kind of area. That's what I'm thinking. They're already in there. They're probably like playing Madden because they're already hyped. They're like playing the game that they're gonna watch today against each other to see how him and some of his friends are
That makes sense.
over for the game. Whatever the big team of the area is, wherever it is.
I'm gonna kind of like walk in, trying to act like I belong here. Even though like if I was walking in on like mom and dad, they're like, "Hey, Jake," and stuff like that, but super awkward. And I'll be like, "Dude, like, who's got more goals right now?"
Goals.
Yeah, are you winning,
More
Robert?
goals?
It looks like you have more goals than your brother.
I think we said the other brother is gone, so it's just Robert and his friends, right?
Oh, all right, and his buddies. So it looks like, dude, it looks like you're kicking ass, man. Like you got so many more goals.
Yeah. I'm winning currently, but it's about to be halftime. They're gonna get the ball back.
Yeah, dude. Like,
He's being nicer to you than they are. They all kind of like roll their eyes, like, ugh. But he's being nice to you because there's a history.
Yeah. So, man, like, the new Spider-Man movie's coming out next month, and it's kind of thinking, like maybe if you wanted to hang, we could go check it out, and I'd buy the popcorn and like. We used to like, you like Spider-Man?
I think one of his sons like, yeah, new Spider-Man, that looks dope. I'm like, of course. And he's kind of like horns in on it. He's like, yeah, you buy our tickets, we'll go together. We'll all go.
Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah. Like everybody. All matinee. How about let's do a matinee? Can we do a matinee?
He's like, I'm just pulling your chain, man. Come on.
I would like, if I could. This is super important to me. I want to ascertain Robert's disposition here because
yes, please do.
I can tell he's not being a jerk face like his friends, but he's also trying to save face with his friends at the same time. And I'd like to kind of get an idea.
Yep, it's uncomfortable for sure. Like this mixture of two friend groups, or so. Yeah, absolutely, you can roll that.
All right, so I'm going to roll that with Keen, which I have at a -1.
And that's good.
Oh, this game is so easy. So that's a 4 -1. I rolled a 3.
That's quite good.
Yeah. So, all right. So I get to ask on a 4 hold.
You get to hold 3. So you get to ask 3 questions during the interaction.
See, it's because all those people playing other games here are getting all the high scores, so we're getting all the low ones.
Yeah, right. So
it's all good for us.
The only way I want this all to come together and like I'll figure out how to pay for tickets and stuff like that is if like Robert's kind of being serious and wants to hang out and watch Spider-Man with me. So I'd like to first know what does Robert intend to do
with regards to the Spider-Man thing?
Like about this whole scenario of like we all go see Spider-Man or him and I just go see Spider-Man, or what does he intend to do with all of this?
So I think as a like kind of right after that comment from whatever the friend, it's like you hear the whistle go, and it's like the halftime or the end of the game or whatever, and he like tosses the controller to one of the guys who isn't playing. He's like, "Here, take over. I gotta go get some more snacks anyway." So he like gets up to like walk out of the room to like get away from them and like have a conversation with you. And he's like, I think he's not against the idea like of like doing this thing with you, right? Like, yeah, it's a thing that you both were into. It's kind of cool again now. Superhero movies are cool, and you know, it's not just nerdy comic book collectors anymore, and all that kind of stuff. Like, and he knows that like you're his sister's best friend, and you know you're in the band together and all of that. And you know, he really doesn't want to be a jerk about all this. It's just that, you know, you guys aren't best friends anymore. Sadly, that happens. But I think he's probably okay with the idea of like taking a Saturday afternoon or something. Like, you know, he's not going to skip going out on a date with his girlfriend to go to a movie with you or anything like that. But like a Saturday or Sunday matinee, yeah, Saturday, not Sundays. Sundays are football day. So
kind of getting that vibe from him when him and I are just like kind of in the kitchen and he's putting together the snacks and stuff. I'd be like, I mean, Robert, man, like I get it, dude. Like, if you like, we could just go on the sly. Like, I'm not asking to be part of your friend group or nothing, but I mean, man, how many times did we just like blow a whole weekend drawing Spider-Man comics and tracing Spider-Man comics and talking about like all that stuff? And I'm not asking like for us to be like best friends or nothing, dude, but like when I think about Spider-Man, I think about like us hanging out. And if you want me to do it on the sly, that's cool. If you don't want to do it, that's cool. But like I saw it's coming out and I thought about you, man.
it's cool, man. You know, like hopefully there's no hard feelings between us. It just, you know, life has gone different ways for us. I don't have any hard feelings towards you. I hope you don't have any towards me.
No,
some of those guys can be jerks sometimes, but you know, whatever. They're not as bad as they seem. What are you hoping to get out of this? You just want an agreement, like?
Dude, I just want to hang and
sorry, this is me asking as the VA.
Oh. Yeah. So I've got a super awkward question I want for my second question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Feel free to throw those in too. Whenever.
So here goes my second question. How could I get him to be okay with me and Lizzie if I were to try to make me and Lizzie more than just
so good. So good.
Well,
earmuffs, Lizzie.
Well, actually, no, earmuffs off. Actually, Amy, I'm gonna lean on you here a little bit because it's your brother's character, and like I haven't fully formed this character yet. So the way you were thinking about your brother, we'll kind of do this together, I guess. But like, what would be his biggest problem with that? Do you think that it's Jake? That it's anyone at all? That no one's good enough for his sister, or
No, I don't think he would have the no one is good enough for my sister mentality just because we're all getting older and that shit kind of happens. But like, it might be awkward that it's somebody that he's known since he was very, very little, who has been there through all those awkward, weird kind of years and has seen him kind of at his worst. Maybe being around the people that he doesn't want to see that or know about that.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, he kind of like reinvented himself when he, went to high school, and Jake saw him before that, and he probably doesn't want this new crowd that he's hanging with to really have access to that part of his life. So I think that might be the problem, is Jake being more enmeshed than he already is. I think
He's
that might
pretty
be
enmeshed now, though,
feels
right?
right. What's that?
He's pretty well enmeshed now, though, right? Like already. With the
I
band
mean,
thing, hanging
with
out.
me, yes, and he's around my family, but our social circles don't interact very much.
Right.
And I'm asking for a whole new level of Jake
No,
is in.
I get that. I totally get that.
That's a whole different enmeshment.
Yeah, that's what the kids call it these
Yeah,
days, by the way.
it's a
Enmeshing.
euphemism. Yep, enmeshing.
So I think so
Try
I
that.
think,
Try that when you guys get home.
Don't.
I
Don't.
I think this is a really good way to show off this move, because this is obviously not a question you could just come out. Anyone could just come out and ask, especially given all these circumstances. So it's definitely you're reading his body language. You're kind of getting a feel for the emotional take. And it's also built up over time, right? Like, you have this
Yes.
long-standing picture of who he is, who she is, who they are together, how their relationship is. So I think what you kind of come away with is, well, do you point the question at all? Like, do you bring up Lizzie at all in the actual conversation in any kind of way? Okay.
Right. So what I'm trying, this is working out well for me right now, which is, I definitely want to, it's not been challenged, but I definitely want to rekindle a friendship with Robert. But it's loud now. Now that I've got Robert by himself, I'm kind of this question that I really didn't know who to ask. So I want to try to feel like, is he feeling kind of cool? So I could go I want to broach the subject with him, but I don't want to do that till I can get a sense of the answer to that question, which is, how could I get Robert to be okay
I
with
think
me making a move?
He'd want to know that you're serious, that it's not taking advantage in any kind of way. As serious as high school romances are,
Right.
But
all right, so that tells me what I need to know. So we can wrap this up real quick, but we'll wrap it up with this, which is me going, all right, dude, just text me how many tickets to get on Saturday. Are you okay if I invite Lizzie too?
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll just be the three of us.
Well, I'm thinking kind of like really asking her. Not just, oh, here's Jake, buddy, hanging out, friends with, used to be Robert's friend, now is in the band. Robert, are you cool if I ask your sister on a date?
I think he's kind of taking it back, and he's like, I mean, you guys are already close, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, but why would you want to go? Why would you want me there?
I kind of don't.
So, did you want to see Spider-Man or not? I don't understand.
So yes. I don't know, dude. You're really good with a girl thing. I don't know nothing about no girl things. So I kind of want to go see Spider-Man with you and hang out, and I kind of want to kiss your sister's face.
All right, whoa. Let's go see Spider-Man. Take her out. Ask her out. Just the two of you. That's my advice, man. I know that It should be obvious.
Cool. Yeah, we're cool. Good plan, dude. Great catching up with you. I'm super uncomfortable right now, so I'm going to go back to the garage.
All right. Well, fine.
And I'm going to like high five.
Awkward high five.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, man, just
So, I apologize, guys, for stealing the group scene. I'm going to come back to the group scene now. A little bit red in the face.
That was a completely.
No, it's good to get an extra scene squeezed in there
Yes.
too.
Kind of want to see Spider-Man. Kind of want to kiss her face.
I don't want to kiss your sister's face.
Actually, I think the exact line was, "I want to kiss your sister's face." Are you gonna slip that into like a new song?
I'm renaming the channel.
Yeah. No. It's gonna be Jake's new song he unveils. Kiss your sister's face.
Oh, anyway, all right. So I will
I'm
let
the
the other three
songwriter here.
set this next scene.
All right, great. All right, so you guys are out there kind of tuning up, maybe,
Doing
soundtrack,
vocal warm-ups.
jamming a little, warm up, whatever.
What scene number is this, by the way? I'm
What's
losing
that?
count. What scene number is this? Are we on now?
This is it. This is it.
This is 8, isn't
I was
it?
thinking, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So you guys can actually kick it off if you want. Well, if there's something the three of you want to start, and then Jake can come in later, or we can just wait until Jake's there. I don't.
I would love to show up part of the way in. So if you guys want to set it.
All right, so Jake sneaks off into the house, says something about getting a soda or whatever he
I'm
says.
gonna eyeball him as he's sneaking inside. Like, what the hell is he doing?
And then who knows? You may even think like, oh, he got caught by my mom, and she's now
She
questioning.
does that,
whatever.
talking his face off.
Especially now that there's this whole band thing performance, you probably have a lot of
I'm sure.
suspicions spinning around in your head about what that conversation that isn't actually happening would be about.
Splatoon.
So after our performance, I realized that a lot of what Jake's saying was actually true. And so I was so into it and so sure that what we're doing is the right thing, and that I was minimizing to some extent how good we are, that I just went all in and told my dad that we were going to do so fucking awesome at the town thing that if we don't get some notice from some high-level music execs, that I would just fucking suffer the way that he wants me to and go off to military school. But I know that's not going to happen. So don't even worry about it.
You
it's
did
it's
what?
like nothing.
What?
I told him that I would go
A
to
record
military
deal?
school. Yeah. It'll be
A
fine.
record deal from a town fair.
Hey, look.
What are you
You guys are always
thinking?
kind of implying that I'm not really taking it
Oh.
seriously enough, and that
I've
I'm
never said that.
dismissing.
Not
well,
one time.
Still doesn't sound like you're taking it seriously, saying we're going to get a record con. I mean, it's your life. You're the one going to military school, not us. But
no.
yeah, I think that was a little,
Sounds
you shot a
awful.
little high there, buddy.
Awful.
It just means that we're gonna have to try harder.
Oh,
We'll
we're
do
just
it,
try
no
harder because
problem.
we're not trying hard the whole time.
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
What we
I'll
should
tell
be
you
doing
what's
is
not fine,
practicing
though.
instead of
We're going
discussing.
to practice. As soon as Jake gets back, we'll start practicing. But before he gets back, you two need to apologize to Jake.
Well,
what
number
exactly?
one,
Oh, hold
Jake already
on.
came to my house and we came to an understanding, so I'll go ahead and not do that.
I haven't heard about that yet.
I mean, I already had a whole conversation with him in his freaking, in his vehicle. So we're on the same page. No problem.
Now, wait a minute. So you've been hanging out with Jake.
Yeah, I wanted
and
him to
you've
know.
been hanging out with Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you haven't.
I
What?
love
Cool.
this game.
Cool. I just want you to know that it's not okay ganging up on Jake. Jake is the best of us, and he is the only reason that we're doing this at all. So
Well, that's what I
maybe
realized.
a
So that's
little
why
more
that's why I did
patience.
this.
So if you're coming from it at this from the angle that I think you are, that like them ganging up on Jake is bad for the band. Like it's
Yeah.
because Jake is kind of the band.
Yeah.
You could definitely be triggering question loyalty here.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
And
question
I
is which
wanted
one of them are you
to
targeting?
ascertain disposition myself.
Look at all the moves.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
Trickling
So,
all the changes.
go ahead and roll your ascertain, and you can get your hold. Who specific? Like, which one of them are you targeting more? Amy.
Oh, probably
yeah.
Fabian, because
Yeah,
he
he started it.
he was a little more like bleh with
Yeah. That makes sense. So, but
like,
let's
this
get
is
his
not
ascertain
okay.
roll so he gets his hold. But yeah, and then I think you can just go ahead and question loyalty.
All right.
Okay.
So Keen is going to be at -2.
So 4.
No, I put the -2 in there already.
Oh, you did. Oh, geez. Okay, 6.
Yeah. This game doesn't like me.
That's a
Yes,
Because
it is.
Craig got
mixed
all the low
success.
rolls.
Yeah.
So you get to hold one. You get one question.
get one question.
Yeah, I get one. All right.
Make it a good one.
Yeah, I want to know what her feelings are for Jake. Where's this coming from? Yeah.
You want to know what her character is really feeling about Jake?
Yeah.
I think that's fair to ask before she rolls. She still gets the question, but I want to hear the answer.
She is very protective of Jake. She has seen how much her brother's actions hurt him and affected him, and doesn't like to see him hurt. And she's not sure where that tenderness derives from,
Mm.
but
Very
she
good.
definitely carries a really big soft spot for Jake, and she knows that Jake is the kind of person who won't say anything, but she will. And so if she is perceiving any sort of attack against his character, when she knows his real character, then she's going to stand up for him. So she's very, very protective of Jake.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so let's see your question loyalty roll.
And I'm undermining that.
You're
Because-
Oh.
I've been trying to say this whole time that I'm all for the band. I'm talking to
She's
Jake
questioning.
outside.
She's questioning Fabian's loyalty. To be
Oh,
clear.
she's questioning Fabian's
Yes.
loyalty.
Well then.
What do I roll that
mean,
with?
Pulling it up.
Interesting.
That's loyal with loyal. Let's see if are you still trying to
I want
undermine?
to do the same thing because I was doing the same route that
Yeah, so-
Timothy was. It's like we've already talked and
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
I'll
can
hold
go-
back and let that should way
Yeah.
it should go then instead. Cool.
Yeah, she's kind of verbally
Okay, so-
implicated you, but she's directly questioning his.
Yeah.
right.
Like you just kind of piled on. She's like mad at you because you piled on, but he was the one who started it.
Right. So yeah, it definitely
Yeah,
makes
that
sense
makes sense.
fictionally for Fabian to undermine. That's cool.
So
And my
do I roll
loyalty
anything
die-
extra if he undermines me?
My loyalty die is a D6.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're gonna
so
roll
it's-
3d6 and keep the highest two.
Yeah, the last one
highest
will
two.
be his.
Yep, the last
And
one will be
the third
this.
one in the list will be his. Yeah.
And then I have a -2. So that was a 4 and a 1. So
Yeah, you
5
didn't need to
minus
use
2,
mine.
3.
Nope, you did not. You need to use his.
Did
So
not.
that's 3.
So that is a 3. All right. So on a 3, on any success, you shift your wheel to the right, and they choose a stat to shift to the left.
I shift my loyalty to the right.
No, you shift their loyal. So
Their
you're
loyal.
questioning his loyal. You're basically like giving him reason to like fictionally the way this move works is you're like, hey, here's this issue. I think you're screwing up in this way. You need to be more about the band. And when you successfully do it, they become more about the band. They become more loyal.
Cool.
And then
I think Fabian's still at the end of that track.
yes,
It's not okay. Jake made it.
I can't get any more loyal.
Yeah.
I
So
can't get any more loyal.
No, so now I have to come up with an issue.
Mark an obligation.
you mark one, yeah,
Mark one. Well,
or create an issue if one doesn't fit in this situation.
Let's see.
Don't fuck
Yeah,
with
I
Jake
don't
is
have-
the
I got-
lesson here.
I
Clearly,
got better when I'm around, worse when I'm not, and try to contain Timothy. None of those really apply at all.
I think it. Personally, I think it can totally work on that jealousy issue that you created.
It got cleared. Like when I
The,
did
the
my,
obligations got cleared. The issue still exists. The issue exists until you either dismiss
so
it
you-
or resolve it.
so you just get rid of the boxes. You don't get
Yep.
rid of the actual issue. Oh, okay, that's fine.
That's
Then, yeah,
easy then.
all right. Yeah, put one
I mean,
back in it.
It feels like it fits there for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so there's that. Also, what was your total? It was 4.
Mine 3.
So on a 4 or less, you also shift your loyal right and another stat to the left.
I will take that.
But what are you going to go left with? That's interesting.
That is interesting. I think that I've been a little bit rattled by this whole thing. She doesn't speak up a whole lot, except for the people that she feels like she needs to. So I think it's shaken her a bit, and I'm going to shift my smooth to the left.
I was thinking smooth. Yep.
Is it
Yeah.
you've seen like a new rattled side of
Yep.
her?
You're no more no. You're taking the gloves off. No more.
Yeah.
No
No
more
more.
Nice.
Mr. Nice Guy.
And then what stat did you want to shift to my left?
So because your loyal can't shift, nothing shifts. They're always
Oh,
canceling shifts.
Okay.
So if one shift right, one shift left. If one of them can't shift, then the whole thing stops, and you just take
That's
the
cool.
obligation instead.
I am the
That makes
most
sense.
loyal person to the band ever.
Yeah, well, technically you might be because you still have a D4, which Fabian does not.
that's right.
Excellent.
Not okay.
I think that's a pretty good part for Jake to walk in on.
I was just thinking that.
There's this tension in the room where we're all like,
So I'm going to walk
did
in
we
and
resolve
go.
the undermine though? I don't think we did. I think
Oh, we did not. We only
Yeah.
resolved the question alone. So we
I
still
know
have
it's a
the
lot of shifting, and there's one more left.
Yeah, because the undermine failed to help. 1 second. Thank you for keeping us straight, Greg. Like you said, this
Yep.
particular
It got
combination
real complicated real fast.
with several shifts.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So does my loyalty shift twice then?
Yeah.
Yes, it will. Because
Fantastic.
Which way does it shift
you
this time?
failed to undermine, your loyal
It goes
is
to
going
the
to
right.
shift right again.
Again.
Can't.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna mark the same up. So now I got 2 points in that same
Yeah, it
obligation.
basically
Yeah.
hits you real hard.
There's
It
a
hits you right in the
right.
soft
fake
spot.
thing like
It was like a 1-2
Again,
punch.
Right. So
have
this
we
is a really
learned
good
a valuable lesson
yeah.
here.
And this is a really good time for us to be able to challenge him on that issue too, since it's like
Yes.
all escalating right here.
It's all escalating right,
Right
here.
here, right now.
It's this big thing. It's clear to everyone present. You and you can just do that if Timothy wants to do that. he
Yeah,
can
I
go
would
with
do that. I would see that this is going on. So instead
How,
of
how
what's
do
he
you
say? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm standing here just like,
what exactly does that issue say? Can you remind me again?
I forget.
I'm jealous because Jake is going to Lizzie instead
Oh.
of me, because I'm usually the guy that takes care of the issues and the problems in the
Right.
group.
Gotcha. So I would say
I feel
this-
she's becoming the the Yoko Ono to our group.
how dare you? Get out of my garage.
So I would look at both of you and I'd say basically, look, you guys have got to just cut this out because the most important thing is the music and making sure that we're in tip-top shape so that we win this goddamn thing next week. And I look at Fabian and you especially.
What are
I
you
don't know
talking
what
about? The only reason you care is because you made a deal about going to military school if you lose.
Listen, that's my problem to deal with, not yours. You've got to deal
Yeah.
with your own shit. So get it under control now so that our direction is clear and this isn't muddying the works.
Yeah, it is clear. He's got two obligations,
Yeah.
Marcus. It's clear to everyone that there's this jealousy thing. It may not be clear exactly what it's about or
Right.
whatever, but he's jealous of either Lizzie or Jake or both or something. Who knows? Maybe
Right.
you think he's
Listen.
into it.
And that's what's
Listen.
cool about challenging this issue, right? Is that we're going to find out exactly what
Yep.
this is. We get to elaborate on it more. So
Yeah, so you get to mark that as challenged.
Right.
Fabian. So now if you clear those obligations and set a scene, you'll get an improvement.
Right.
cool.
So I can continue this to do that, right? This conversation.
Well, it takes a specific
Take this scene and we're out of scenes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so this is your last scene before the BA scene. So.
Okay. Not a problem.
So maybe to
And you
finish it off, like I come in, no soda. Like come in, I'm like, hey guys, there's like a vibe. Everybody okay?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, your girlfriend's a little out of hand, but we need to concentrate on what
Whoa.
we're doing.
Dude!
Me out of hand. You're the one who's all crazy jealous about something over there. Maybe you need to get
Me?
it straightened out.
You were the one that just copped an attitude because he was hanging with me and Timothy. What are you talking about?
I copped an attitude because you two dogpiled on him.
No, we
I don't
didn't.
appreciate that.
Real quick,
We just happen to agree on the same situation. That's not dogpiling.
hold on, pause. Jake, would you like to take note of your surroundings?
There's like seven changes happening right now. Yeah, I totally need to know what the F is going on. So yeah.
Well, take note. So that's
that'll be
similar
good.
to ascertain the disposition, except it's about the situation instead of the individual.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
I need
it's
to
a
ascertain
roll.
the room's disposition if I could.
Yeah, it's take note of your surroundings is what it's called.
Okay, yeah.
It's
Take notes
clearly
around.
really uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. So you just
I'm fine.
walked in on this.
So
So I
I'm
think
gonna
it's-
roll keen,
I'm
I
just
think
mad.
which is still at -1.
So that's a 6. All right, that's partial success. So you get to ask me questions. You get
That's
to ask
one, right?
one, and if you act on my answers, you get -1 forward. So it may not be relevant here, but
I think so I'm gonna put it into the chat so those watching can see these great questions.
oh, perfect. Yep.
Give me just one
Thank
second.
you.
Yeah. And you'll realize it's not easy, but it's kind of easy. So my choices are: what's the best way to involve myself or extricate myself from the situation? Which person here is most influenced by me? Which person here wishes I wasn't present? What should I be concerned about? And who here is in control of the situation? I think the obvious thing, as Jake walks into and gets the whole vibe, and like Lizzie and Fabian are yelling at each other, I need to know what I should be concerned about.
So I'm gonna do something a little off book here because you're asking me questions, but all of the characters involved are PCs in this game. There's 0 NPCs in this. What I would say that you should be concerned about as a character is the flagrant, like Flavian throwing around this, oh, your girlfriend over here undermining your chances that you had just talked to her brother about, and like putting some sort of, sour taste in someone's mouth. Now, what I'm going to do that's a little bit out of off book is each of you, I think I'm going to have answer that question specific to your character. What should he be concerned about? Let's start with Timothy.
Good question. Good question. Should be concerned about the fact that I'm trying to think of how to best word this. That Timothy now has kind of swung in the other direction, and he's becoming very hyper-focused on this, which may, as we've seen, right, that's actually caused some it's caused some problems. And he's getting a little bit egotistical with regards to the direction that he feels the band should go in. That's what you should be concerned about. That he's fairly confident, and by contacting you, he's trying to get you on board, and he's already succeeded to some degree. We're already on the same page, but you can basically tell that now he's starting to do that with the other two folks and be very directive as to what direction that he thinks the band should go in. And left unchecked, that probably will lead to some not great things happening.
For you get the feeling that by her coddling you or her always deferring to you and defending you, that any like romantic associations is detrimental to the band, because that gets in the way of what we need to do, because now you have that extra factor there, and that's what it is. And if that happens, then either it's going to come to a head, or I'll probably just walk away.
Yep.
For me, I think you should be concerned about that. I think you prefer them and hanging out with them than spending time and actually making real music with me.
Real music.
Yeah,
So-
is that what the kids are calling it today?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's weird, Derek, is I just got an email from Foundry that says that the algorithm is off, and I actually wrote it 2, so I get to ask 4 more questions. All right.
That damn random number generator, that's what
Yeah,
happens
I
when they
think-
don't use a real one.
I think I'm going to lean into the heart, and this might wrap up this scene.
Yep.
And like all this is going on, and I'm just going to go, guys, I love all of you. The only reason I learned how to play the bass is so I could spend time with you, Timothy, and with you, Fabian, and with you, Lizzie. And we all got our shit. Parents suck. God damn it. We won. And we've got a big thing coming up. And we're going to win it again. And you know what's going to happen? Timothy, you're not going to military school, because there's going to be somebody who's going to recognize how big we are. I'm going to put this all over the socials. And Fabian, we're going to kick some algebraic ass. And we're going to get your dad off of you, and we're going to straighten that principal out. And Lizzie, everybody's going to finally realize where your talent really is. And it's not just that you can play the scales and you can play the old timey music that your mom wants you to play. People are going to realize you're making the new music, and you're making the stuff that people are going to be studying later. They're going to be learning your songs the way every Saturday you have to learn their songs. So guys, none of this matters. Screw parents. Screw the tension. We're all here and we all want the same thing. So I'm going to walk over there and I'm going to pick up my bass. No more talking, only playing and singing.
And as Jake walks over there, I'm going to say, well, that's twice today you didn't get into your head. At least that's something.
I think it's a really good last scene.
I think so too. I want to do a little foreshadowing.
Uh-oh.
The 4 of you all get like a notification and like a group text. And it's from Christopher.
Oh, God
And
damn
it's
it,
a
I forgot
link
about
to
him.
a
Told
YouTube
you to get rid of
video.
him.
And he's like, check it out. Already hit 10,000 views. Big deal. Like, it's making its rounds. And as you open it, you see it's one of the videos from before the show when you guys were in the back room, and it's like high school kids rock out in front, get and get hype, whatever. Like,
Christopher. All right, let's go to credits. We'll come back with what we're thinking, Stars and Wishes. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So this is going to be thoughts, stars, and wishes. And for those of you who've been watching the channel recently, I've added something to the stars and wishes, which is start off with thoughts. Like, what are we thinking as players about the game, about what just happened, and then stars and wishes. And Derek, if you don't mind, I'd like to start.
Sure, please. It's your channel.
So,
I was waiting for him to say no.
No, I'm starting.
The only reason I was going to say no is because I made Amy go last time. I was going to let her start, but she can go second.
All right.
Yeah.
Please please.
Okay.
Please.
She can go second.
So thoughts. One of my favorite things is to see a game's mechanics push play. And I really felt we did a neat job of seeing us push the mechanics and the mechanics push back. And there was this exchange that happened and like everything felt right. And I've enjoyed the first 3 episodes. I've had a ton of fun, but this I think was the first time where we saw it all come together, have it all make sense. All of the shifts made sense. And it just flowed. And that was just a matter of the table getting it right. And it was really cool to see that happen. It was really cool to see all the friction kind of go away. And that friction is natural. Anytime you get a new table with a new game, there's going to be friction. But just like, what a great episode. So stars for me is when Jake walked back into the room, because I felt like before I got there, the 3 of you leaned in to the situation. And when I got there, it all made sense. The mechanics slipped in and happened, then slipped out and got out of the way. So that was my stars, was that moment. And wishes, I'm kind of anxious now with everything that's happened to do another performance, because I feel like it felt like the first performance was important. It's nothing compared to what we're about to go through, right? Think about how much more is at stake now for us as characters. That makes me super excited.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, let's hear from Amy.
Okay, my turn. Oh, my thoughts. Man, this game is good. It's I really enjoy it. And I don't normally like playing younger people because that's such a weird time of your life. And it's so charged in so many different ways. And so normally I don't like to play younger people. And I was like, yeah, I don't really know. But like coming into it, to see everybody just lean super hard into the game has been fantastic. I really enjoy when people like really get their characters and really understand them. And I feel like we all have a grasp on who our characters are and how they present themselves and how they interact with people. And I love that. That's probably my star for the night, is everybody just actually being their character. You're not playing a role, you are for a little while. And I absolutely love that. I don't know if I could narrow it down to one person, but just to see everybody wrapping it up into that character, I just love it. And again, with the mechanics enhancing the story instead of detracting, that's a really big deal. And a game that can seamlessly do that is really, really something special. You guys have something great here.
You're too kind. Thank
My
you.
wish is, shut up, you're awesome.
Oh.
My wish is, I wish we could play again tomorrow. Can we do that? Can we just make this like an every night thing for quite some time? Let's go back and forth. We'll do Limelight and then Brindlewood and then Limelight and then Brindlewood. No, this is really, really fantastic. My wish would be to play more, simply because I love the way that it is progressing, and I honestly can't wait for the next session to see where it goes.
Awesome. All right, Robert, what are your thoughts, stars, and wishes?
Yeah. My thoughts. It's actually similar to Amy's. Like, I'm not a big fan of playing kids. Like, my shelf is all Free League except from Tales from the Loop, and it's not because it's a bad thing. It's just because I was already a kid and I like to escape reality.
Yep.
But I do have a policy, and it's what I told Craig when he asked me to come, is I'll always try a game once, because you can't say anything if you don't. And I'm glad I have that policy, because this shit is fun. I mean, and also kind of the same thing with the stars. It's to everybody, because I like to role play, and it's fantastic to be with a group of people that can lean in the characters and not get upset about it. Like, we know we're just playing our characters, and it's fantastic. Everybody's just doing a phenomenal job. And like Craig said, like, I felt like this is the episode. Like, we already had 3, but this is the episode where it just came together, where we are all using mechanics at the same time. Instead of like letting one person go, another person go, we're all, as Amy likes to put, piling on. And
Leave Jake alone.
but yeah, as far as wishes go, yeah, I just want to play some more too. It's just a blast. I don't know what else to say, guys. This is cool. It's just, I love story, and it's great. There's mechanics to support the story instead of mechanics to interrupt the story.
Amen.
That's right.
Well, thank you all so far for all of your kind words. Let's hear from Greg.
So I agree with what everybody is saying, and I'll elaborate on a bit, saying that it's really it makes me feel really good to see how everyone is leaning into who their character is, and especially how that is going to affect both their personal life and the band, and seeing how when you lean into that, that will trigger the mechanics of the game, and then cause the narrative to spin off into a direction. And depending on what those die rolls are every time, it could spin into a direction that we didn't necessarily anticipate. But we together build that based on what that die result is. And that's been really fantastic to see. My star goes to Derek for this time. And I'm saying that because you got to see, especially this time, how the booking agent takes a secondary role when it comes to the scenes. And you'll notice every time, like, even if we ask Derek, it's like, what comes next? And he's like, well, it's up to you guys, because that's the rules of the game. And so Derek has expertly shown how he can sit back and push us to be able to state, what is this scene about and what does it mean to our characters? But then he uses the NPCs to push on the appropriate spots in order to be able to elaborate and to get us to move towards an action that's going to spin the narrative off in the way that the game's designed to do. So I really liked seeing that this time, and thought that was expertly done. That leads into my wish, and my wish is also like you, that we could play really soon, because I am really excited to see the next scene, which will be a booking agent scene that is 100% up to Derek to be able to set, featuring the band members. So we've got 8 scenes here that was totally up to us. Now he will get to be able to take all of these things that happen and decide what's the best thing to shine that spotlight on that will really get us to be able to see what this band is about and to push us even harder than we've been pushed before. So I am really, really wishing to be able to see that sooner rather than later, and see if great things happen to us because of it, or if we spiral really far downhill. So thanks again,
No
everyone,
spiral.
for putting in your all and making this a fantastic night.
Got one more thought, stars and wishes, though.
What? Go ahead.
The booking agent.
Yours.
Oh, I thought you said you had one more thought.
No, we do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think I can say anything that hasn't already been said. You guys, I feel it too. I feel that I felt it a little bit last episode, a little bit the episode before. It's really clicking. You guys are getting to that point where, you know, the mechanics are kind of fading into the background and for you, and you know, it's always good every time we see it happen. It's good to see that it does work for every group so far, and it's not just a fluke thing, or it's not just completely dependent on group synergy. That at some level the design's working, so that's feels good. But you guys are also just doing a great job. You're playing your characters, and that's the whole point of this game. So my stars are to all of you, everybody leaning in, everybody doing the stuff. I think maybe a little bit torn, but maybe a little bit more towards the part at the end where Lizzie calls out the 2 guys for being too hard on Jake. But I do want to give Jake a little bit for bringing it back and just trying to rekindle that relationship with Robert from his childhood, and just trying to, you know, build that into something real that's, you know, maybe it isn't what it used to be, and maybe it never will be, but also it doesn't need to be this us or them, you know, nerd versus jock, whatever kind of thing. So I really appreciated that scene because it gave us a good insight into several different aspects of what was going on there. So wishes, same. We need to get more of these on the schedule. I know we have one more scheduled, and we'll work offline, but let's get this schedule going, and let's get more of these up and ready, and keep doing this thing because it's great.
Yep. And if you guys were playing again in February, do you want to know when? Then you need to get on the socials and follow Third Floor Wars everywhere and everybody. I do need one plug though, real quick. I need a plug from Amy. So Amy, you have got a stream coming up. When is that, and where can we find it?
I do, yes. We have just started broadcasting on Twitch. Our next game will be January the 30th at 8 p.m. You can find us at twitch.tv/endlessnightgamingnc. That's me. Come watch me. It's fun. It's that boring other tabletop game that we shall not mention.
It shall not be
But
named.
we do a good game. We do a good job at it anyway.
Yeah.
So come and watch us. We're awesome.
It's got all of the excitement and all the feels, and it transcends the game we do not speak of. It's definitely worth watching. It's the only D&D podcast I listen to. It's the only D&D stream I've watched in like 6 months. So
And I love you for it.
and that gives you an idea. All right, folks, we're going to see you soon. Coming up, let's see, what do we have coming up real quick? I think next up is Camp Carnage, which has a slightly different tone than this. It's straight up 80s full quarter or 90s full core slasher horror. So we'll talk to everybody soon. Cheers.
Take care.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.